Hey everyone, it is Mandie Sands here. I am a 6th grade intervention specialist at the middle school on Team 3, and I am here to talk to you all about flexible thinking. So this is also called SHIFT. It just basically means that a student, or an adult for that matter, is able to manage through change without a lot of anxiety or getting locked up. So let's talk about kind of what this is in more detail. It's responding to new or unexpected situations with an open mind. It's a huge part of problem solving in everyday life. You've seen these students who really struggle with this in the classroom. They get so wrapped up in the details, they can't see the big picture. People who have good flexible thinking skills are usually really good at, let me show you this quick video, looking at everyday things in new ways, examining possibilities. Imagine seeing a die and thinking, I could make art with this. It's a precursor to creativity, but it's also a precursor to depth and complexity of learning. You can't really get kids into deep learning until they get past their fear of failure. So, troubleshooting. Kids with poor flexible thinking skills, you have them in every classroom. They're stubborn, they're rigid, they're afraid to make a mistake. As a math teacher, I see it a lot. Kids get very emotional about messing up and not getting it right, or they get really stuck. They've got one way of perceiving it, one way they learned it, and they're not open to other methodologies. Joe Bowler talked about number talks. A lot of my fellow math peeps know that work. It's really important getting kids to kind of openly talk about mistakes and celebrating those mistakes. And really every discipline is important because we have to get kids past that fear. How to promote flexible thinking. Examine and celebrate mistakes. Allow students time to process, encourage perseverance and grit. We have got to take the focus off of scores and performance and try to foster a classroom that is all about building on each other's ideas, looking at effort, creativity, good questions, good dialogue. So here are some things you can do. We've tried this on Team 3 and had great results. This is one activity that's just really easy. You're welcome to pick it straight up out of this presentation. It's just an independent activity. Each student does at their desk. You can do this as a whole class activity. You can also throw it on Google Classroom and let students send you a photo back of what they did. They get a plain sheet of paper. They can just pull out notebook paper. They're supposed to work alone and silently, and you put a timer up for 1 minute. Their only job is to create a circle. You let them know that they're not going to be judged on the quality. Just do their best. When we did this in our classroom, I co-taught this with another teacher, and 95% of the students were done in 5 seconds. They took a piece of paper, they took a pencil, they went like this, they put the pen down, pencil down, and stared at us like we were insane. Then we showed them all these different ways. Poke a pencil through the paper, rip off a piece and make a loop. There's already a circle, look at the negative space, wad it into a ball, and so on. It was fascinating to watch them. Well, I didn't know we were allowed to, and I was afraid I'd mess up. No fair, what? So I guess what I'm saying here is we've got to start as teachers giving permission to these kids to think outside the box. They're so obedient and rule governed that I think a lot of them are worried about not getting it right. So that is inhibiting creativity. Another option is a 3-minute game. What is this? So players pass an object. Let's take this. It's just a fork. They can say anything besides what it actually is. So we might have 4 or 5 teachers in a group. We stand in a circle and we pass this around. What is this? The only rule is that you can't say what it is and you can't laugh at anybody else's idea. So I might say it's a comb. Yeah, Little Mermaid reference. I know, that's an easy one. Pass it along. Somebody else would say it's a garden stake. It's just a way to get creativity flowing, especially before you're about to do a writing assignment or a project where kids need to put themselves out there. I'm going to show you guys a quick video of what it looked like in my classroom. Here we go.
It's a long finger. It's an extension to your wristwatch. It's an arm cannon thing. I see that. It's a shoe for it.
So what happens is you usually get a lot of laughter and support in the classroom when they do this, and they really have fun with it. It's not necessarily the highest kids or the lowest kids that are good at this. It's the kids who are willing to think flexibly and have an open mind. Once kids can think flexibly, Anxiety goes down. This really affects the social emotional scale too, because you've built a classroom structure where kids feel safe to open up a dialogue and to ask questions that might be seen as stupid. But when you don't allow other kids to shut the questions down, and you don't shut the questions down, it's really amazing what blooms. Change is embraced. Kids are willing to make mistakes. You can really start to get into depth and complexity. They can flex their creative problem-solving skills, and your class gets to aha moments a lot faster. This is a little harder to do online because sometimes you need that classroom culture. But I would recommend, if there's a way to put some of this on Google Classroom and let students respond privately, then you can start having them respond on chat forums and in other ways that's a little bit more public. Anyway, that's my 5 minutes. Hope you guys enjoyed.